This is a walkthrough video of the recipe pricing calculator template. Please note that the colors, designs, and fonts may change as we update and improve our templates, but the core functionality of this spreadsheet will remain the same. The purpose of this spreadsheet is to help you calculate the cost, the profit, and the sales potential of any recipe, so you can price your products confidently and understand how much you're really making. This spreadsheet has 5 main tabs, and I'm going to show you how to use it step by step. We are going to start with the Setup tab. Here you're going to enter the units, and this is already pre-populated, but you're welcome to change them. This is the units for the food. This is the units for the packaging. And you also have categories. So depending on what you're selling, you're going to enter your categories over here. For this example, we're going to be simulating a bakery. So these are my categories: cookies, cakes, cupcakes, muffins, breads, and other. I want to make sure that I'm calculating all the ingredients, the labor, the packaging, and the other costs to make sure that I am going to be profitable after the sales. Here you can change the currency of this spreadsheet, and I'm going to come back to this later, but just so you know, it can be changed. Next, we're going to go to the ingredients master list. In this list over here, you're going to enter every single ingredient that you're going to be using in your items. You're going to enter the ingredient, the unit, the package size, which means how much comes in the store-bought pack. So does the bag of flour comes in 5 pounds? Then you're going to enter 5. You're going to enter the numbers because you already have the unit over here. So 5 pounds for a bag of flour. And then the cost per package is how much you pay for the whole package. How much did you pay for all 5 pounds of flour? So in this case, it was $2.62 for 5 pounds of flour. And here the sheet auto calculates the cost per unit for you. So here you can see that it's about 50 cents per pound of flour. So you're going to enter all the ingredients that you're going to use, and then here you're going to do the same, but this is for the packaging. It works just like the ingredients tab. You're going to enter each packaging item that you use and its unit, the package size, same thing. So for example, this bakery box with window comes with 50 boxes inside of the package. And then the cost per package is $17.99 for all 50 boxes, which turns out to be 36 cents per unit for the box. Now in here, you can enter the link if you purchase online, for example. So you can always come back and find the same product and you can rebuy. If you purchase at a sale price, then you might want to change this here so you can calculate everything as accurate as possible. Same thing if it gets more expensive, then you might need to revisit all your prices. Now let's move to the template Make Copy tab. This is your template to duplicate for every new recipe, every new product that you're going to be pricing. All you have to do for this tab, do not edit anything in here. This is the template. Always going to leave this blank. Click here on this arrow and then you're going to click duplicate. Once you duplicate, you're going to see copy off, template make copy, and this is the copy that you're going to be editing. Here you're going to fill out all the information for your recipe. Let's pretend that this is something that I'm going to be selling at the farmer's market. So I'm going to be selling snow cones, I'm going to be selling snickerdoodle cookies, chocolate chip cookies, banana muffin, and a carrot cake. Each of these, they have the same information over here to the side. Once you made a copy of your template, it's going to say copy of template making copy. Don't worry about renaming this. This is going to be renamed automatically. You're only going to edit this colored cells in green. So this, your target profit, projected sales, and the price per serving. So all you have to do is enter your recipe name, the category that you're going to select. So this drop down will feed from the setup tab where you set up your categories. We're going to select cakes. We're going to do chocolate cake. Once you enter that here, this is going to auto update. Then recipe link. Let's say I'm going to be using this recipe for my chocolate cake. So I'm going to get the link over here and I'm going to double click and paste the link in here. So I can always come back in here and see the prep and everything else. And then here we are going to enter a reference code. It's like a unique identifier for your recipe because you might have 5 different types of chocolate cake. So if you give them a unique with code, you will know exactly which one is more profitable. Next, I'm going to take a picture of the recipes, and I'm using a Mac, so I'm going to do Shift Command 4 to take a screenshot of the screen. And then you see here, when I hover over, there's some numbers. I'm going to make sure that these numbers are even so I can get a perfect square picture. You see here that the numbers now say 622 by 622. That's a perfect square, so I'm just going to get that. And then this picture is going to save in my computer. Now this spreadsheet has a lot of automations running in the back end. This is why you have to insert the image from this custom menu and not the actual spreadsheet insert image in cell function. Okay, so you have to use this one right here where it says upload image. It's going to run a script, and then a pop-up will say authorization required. Just click OK, and then you're going to select your email, and then you're going to click advanced. You will see this big warning over here. That's totally fine. That's just Google warning you that they didn't write the script. Then you're going to select all. You need to make sure that all of these are clicked, and here it says that you're giving access to edit, create, and delete stuff from your Google Drive files. Don't be spooked. I do not have access to your Google Drive. This is just Google authorizing the script to run, and it is all happening within your own Google account. So nobody outside of your account has access to this, okay? This is not going to give me access. This is not going to give nobody else access to your information. So just click continue. Just want to make sure, because these warnings can be kind of scary. It's totally okay. So then the sidebar will show up over here, and it says upload image to Google Drive. This is going to show all the folders that you have inside of your Google Drive. I created this recipes folder because I was testing the spreadsheet, but if you don't have one, you can name the name of your business. You can name just recipes, images, just any kind of folder name will work. And then you're going to click create folder. Once you click create folder, the folder that you created is going to show over here under select a folder. Then you're going to choose file. You're going to get chocolate cake, and then you're going to click upload image. Wait a few seconds, and that should upload the image right here. This is going to close once the image has been added. Just give it a little bit. It's reading the information. It's saving in your Google Drive, and now added the image in here. This is important, and I'm going to show you why, because it goes to the recipes directory. So when you insert the image in here, it needs this link, so it will pull the images into this part over here. And if you notice, because my spreadsheet already refreshed automatically when I ran the script, it already changed the name of the tab automatically. Okay, so this is all included in the automation. And then this will always match whatever name is in here for your recipe. So anytime you refresh, even if you change the name of the recipe, then the tab will automatically update. Next, in here on your chocolate cake, we're gonna go enter the full batch, how many units the batch makes, and how much is a serving. So a serving will be your final product. So in here, for example, for the snickerdoodle, one batch of this recipe makes 24 cookies. One serving, what I am going to be selling is going to be 2 cookies per package. So this is my serving. And then here it auto calculates that one batch makes 12 portions. When you go back to the recipe, it should say over here, so this one says servings 24. This will vary depending on the size of your sheet that you baked the cake, depending on a lot of things. But because you already know your recipe and you know how much it yields, each batch yields, then you're gonna enter here. So let's say this one makes 12 big slices of cake, and then one serving means 1 unit. I'm gonna be serving 1 slice of cake. Okay, so then here it says 12 servings per batch. The ingredients, you are going to enter the ingredients that you're going to use for 1 batch. That's it, just for one, because you need to know how much each serving costs, and this will auto calculate based on your 1 batch. I'm gonna enter the ingredients for the chocolate cake in here. Okay, so I've added the ingredients. So for the ingredients, the recipe will say 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of flour. But in here, because we are using this to calculate the cost, and there's no easy way to do conversions because each ingredient, 1 cup of flour might weigh differently than 1 cup of syrup or whatever. Just do the conversion, So for here, I'm going to do 0.6 pounds of flour. That would equal the 2 cups and so forth and so on. Just make sure everything is weighted correctly with the exact amount that you're going to be using. And then next, the time, it says cook time, prep time. So total time says about 45 minutes. So I'm going to say that my labor will be about 1 hour, let's say $15 per hour. And then packaging costs, I'm just going to copy the packaging from these, right? Little box, a little thank you card, and I'm just going to copy this over, but you're going to use whatever material you use for packaging a cake, for example. And then other costs and utility, here I have electricity for the oven, some gloves, we're going to be using that, and then calculated here, and this will depend on how much you use electricity and so forth and so on. So just do the calculation in here, how much per cost per recipe. In this case, I calculated the 1 hour of electricity, and then 1 pair of gloves. I'm just going to copy this over. Any other additional cost that you have is going to go in here. And then next, you are going to enter your projected sales and your price per serving. So first, if you don't know how many sales do you need, you have a profit planner up here to help you calculate how much money you want to make, and that will give you how many sales. Or if you know that normally you make 200 sales, you sell 200 slices of cake, then you can enter over here. I can see here already that my cost per batch per chocolate cake is 20.26, and this includes ingredients, labor, packagings, and utility. Okay, so everything included, it's here, and then it turns out to be 1.69 per serving, so per slice of cake. So let's say I want to sell this at $3.99, and then here you're going to enter your projected sales. So let's say your target profit for that day on that market, and I have no idea because I never sold in a farmer's market before. But let's say your profit for the day is $500. Then here it's saying that you need to sell 218 servings. So if you put 218 servings over here, you can see that your gross profit, and this is not your revenue, this is the profits. How much money do you want to net after all expenses? So if you want to have in your pocket $500, you need to make 218 sales. And here it shows you the cost to make. So you are going to need this upfront to pay for the ingredients, to pay for the labor, to pay for all other costs. And then if you make the 218 sales, you're going to have a total in revenue of $869, and your profit will be here. This here will show you your gross profit, the green, and then your production costs, it's the red. So you can see here that your profit margin is 57%. Here is your price markup, and then down here you have your selling price, your production costs per serving. Here is your total production cost breakdown. So you are spending $85 in ingredients, $272 in labor, $3 in packaging, and then, utility. And here it breaks down the percentage. So for this example specifically, it's clear that labor is the highest cost for this. If you are making this yourself, you can see here that if you're not paying anybody, then the production costs now is 11% and your gross profit is 89%. So if you do end up making 218 sales, now you are going to profit $774. Here is a chart showing you the ingredients, the labor, the packaging, and their utility. Again, another breakdown just on the chart, so you can quickly see here that the labor is the highest amount. In here is a little summary for you. So projected sales, 218 servings, total batches needed. So you're gonna need 19 batches. You're gonna need to make 19 full cakes in order to sell 218 servings. And then it yields 228 servings. So you are gonna have a little bit of leftover, that you could sell more. If you enter here 228 projected sales, because your batch makes 228, and that's not accounting for any waste, considering that every single cake makes the perfect slice for you to sell, then 19 batches will make 228. This is your sales. You are going to need 19 hours to make all of those cakes, unless you have more ovens and more people helping you. This is the profit to be earned. So you can see here it is your gross profit. It's the same, so 524. And this here shows you that your hourly profit is $27 per hour. Last but not least, for this sheet, you will have a selling scenario. So you have the type, the pricing per serving, and then the profit. So this is the budget, this is the standard, this is the premium. The standard is the pricing that you set up. So you are selling these at $3.99 per serving. If you have to run a sale or give a discount and you have to lower your price, if you have to lower this is to $2.79, for example, then you're gonna make this profit. If it's selling really well and you think you can, up your price, then a premium price would be $5.59, and then this is going to be your profit if you sell those licenses at this price. So just a little scenario for you to play with and just show you the possibilities of the things that you can do. In this, you can print. If you want to make a folder with all of your recipes, you can just print, and then you select portrait, and then if you zoom out over here, you can see this is what's going to be printed, and you can put it in your folder, and you can save it, you can laminate it, whatever you want to do. Oh, and then here, every single template that you create will have this book over here that will take you to the recipes directory, and that's the last tab that I'm going to show you. This is like your dashboard. So each time you complete a recipe sheet, the name and the numbers, all of the stuff that you entered in there will pull into this list. In here, you can quickly view your recipe links, your categories, the batch cost, the serving cost, your projected profit all in one place. And this is perfect for comparing and prioritizing your most profitable recipes. This sheet was very much automated, so you don't have to input any of this manually. So if you change anything on these sheets, I see here that I took the label out and then I put it back on, and it didn't update because here it's showing all 0. So all you gotta do is refresh your spreadsheet. If you change anything on those tabs, anything, this is going to be updated automatically. Okay, so no more manual entry. This keeps it live, this keeps it real. If any of your ingredients change the price on your recipe sheet, this is going to be updated. Okay, so just to make sure you have the latest of this, just click refresh, or anytime that you open your spreadsheet, this is going to be updated with the real information. Also, this will link directly to your recipe card. Okay, so when you go back, if you go to the banana nut muffin, now you can see your recipe card here, and you can go back to the recipe directory from here. So everything really quick and easy to use. And then here, this gray part is the sales projection. I wanted to make it easy for you so you don't have to keep going back and forth to do a sales simulation. So for example, if you say, let's say you're selling 200 pieces of the chocolate cake that you could sell about 200 pieces of the chocolate cake, and you want to price it at $3.99. So all of this sales projection in here is going to be updated, and you can freeze this. If you want to freeze it, just hover over this little hand over here. You see how there shows a little white glove? Just click and drag this here, so when you move this side, you still can see the recipe name. Here's going to be showing the cost to make, the total revenue, the gross profit, profit margin, and the price markup. You can play with your numbers. Here you can see your profit margin on each of those products. If your chocolate chip cookies has a bigger profit margin, then you might want to invest in promoting maybe the chocolate chip cookies instead, or making more of the chocolate chips. Or maybe you want to go by gross profit instead. Which one, which one sells the fastest, which one would give you the more money. Anyways, you can play around with the numbers, and this is where you can compare and prioritize your most profitable recipes. Now, here's how you can change the currency. All you gotta do is select your currency from the drop down. Let's do this one right here. And then you are going to go to change currency and update currency. It's gonna run the script. You're gonna wait a little bit. And then it says the currency format's updated to use this symbol. So then when you click OK and you go to your ingredients list, for example, now everything has been updated. And it should be showing everywhere your new currency. And that's all you have to do. Thanks for watching.